let's do the screen share. All right, so get everyone in there. And as always, I want you to unmute your microphones. I want you to talk. So if you got any questions during it, just hit me up. So today we have a bit of a more fun one. The last ones we're going over more theory. Today we're going to be making a Hangman game. So just a quick itinerary. Now I wrote this in JavaScript, Java, and Python based on what you put in the Funbox discussion last time. Oh, you can't hear your voice. Oh, is she deaf? Uh, yeah. So, um, does this is everyone good with these three languages? Okay, cool. And you can choose whatever you want to do for them. Uh, Note that if you want to go ahead and get your IDE or REPL ready, you can go ahead and do that. I'll be showing you where you can get those if you don't have one yet. But cool. So going real quick, has anyone here played Hangman before? Yes, very cool. Anyone else? All right, and you can unmute your microphones and talk. But yeah, so for those that haven't played, it's just a two-player game where someone writes out little underscores for all the letters, and then a player has to guess where they're correct. And if they get them wrong, they start drawing a man being hanged. So to start getting and thinking about what we're doing, let's go ahead and play a game of Hangman. Nope, not that slide. Uh, so let me go to my sketch pad. Let's see, yeah, you would want to. All right, hopefully that helps you. Yeah. All right, so if you go and load in, let's just play a quick game of Hangman, and think about the individual things that you're doing while we're playing. Right. All right, so I'm gonna draw the little hanging post, and let's see, I'm gonna do this word. So 6 letters. Who wants to start guessing? You can unmute your microphone. David, you got a guess? You just want to throw out a letter? Oh, say A? Alright. Alright, no problem. Uh, Fortunately, A is not correct, so just write that letter out. I'm gonna draw that. Okay, so now there's a head. Any other guesses? Just shout them out. Anyone? E? Not yet. You're good for guessing the vowels, so that's a good strat. Come on, Sanjin. U. Still with the vowels, but yeah, you're close. You're close. Adve, you got a guess? J. Still missing out. S. Man, I picked a hard word. Sorry about this, boys. There we go. We got an O. R. No R's. Here, I'll keep on going. I'll draw a sweater and stuff. C. No C. I'll draw a cape. Come on, get them out there. What'd you say? L? No L. That's a good guess though. I'll draw. Uh, no F. T. Yo, we got some T's. N. Yep, we got an N. Come on, come on. What are the letters? What letters you want to guess? Yeah, you got it, you got it. Yay! Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Good guess on that one, Jacob. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, that's just a quick King of Hangman. You want to play one more? Sure. All right. Let's think. What's another word? All right. Start guessing. No. Any letters? Any what? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, sorry about that. My Discord crashed again. It's been unstable all day. All right, everyone get back in there. There we go. Cool. Any letter guesses? E. No E. There is an A. No R. Someone say J. No J. No J. Good guess though. Good guess. T. No T. There. Oh yeah, there is an I. No O. No N. No L. No S. No R. Here, I'll draw some sneakers. M. No M. No N. Or we already had N. Or we already have A. Two Z's. Mm-hmm. Yep, there we go. All right, cool. So, uh, we got this nice dude with the sneakers. So yeah, so quick games of Hangman. Let me go back to the. Oh, I got hit the percent button. Got to all that. Give me a sec. Okay, change windows. Uh, this one. I'll move this over to here. All right. Stream failed to start. Oh, there it is. All right. So yeah, so Hangman. Now that we just played, we should break down the game, right? So we gotta think of it programmatically. So what is the first thing that you gotta do? Like, what was the first thing to start off the game? Yeah. So the executioner selects a random word. What's next? Exactly. The guesser selects a letter. Next up. Hey, you're knocking these out. All right. And then there's just one more thing you gotta do. Exactly. Yeah, so there's those steps, but yeah, you just repeat them. Great. Yeah, that's really good. So, exactly. When you're trying to tackle a larger problem programming, it's good to like just write out the small steps that you have to do. That's what we're going to be doing today. So, the first thing, right, is we need to get a random word. Now, we got two options, right? Can you come up? Can some people come up with some options about how we would select a random word, or like how a computer would? Yeah, exactly. So we have an array of words to choose from. That's great. And there's also another one, little less random and requires players or another person to do it. Does anyone think of that one? Exactly. Yeah, we can have just another user go in and type in a word for us. All right. So, is my desktop audio not working? Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Desktop audio for the video wasn't working. That's gonna. All right. Yeah. So for simplicity for this one, I just wrote it with option one, but at the end, once we get done, I encourage you to try and do option two, because we're going to be going through how you could. All right, so with choosing a random word, right? What do we need to choose a random word with a computer and array? Yeah, so we got the list of random words, but how will we tell the computer, hey, just pick a random one of these? Yeah, exactly. So you get an array of words and then code to randomly choose. Um, so what I want you all to do is go ahead and open your IDE or read event print loop or read evaluate print loop of your choice. So for Java, this could be like your Java compiler, or I'll paste these all in chat. You can have some online ones. So for Java, there's JDoodle. For JavaScript, you can just use your browser. Is anyone using JavaScript or planning to? Okay. If you do end up, just let me know because there is a little of a caveat I have to walk you through. And then for Python, you can either use Python on your computer or you can use something like this. Wrong message. There we go. Gotta add Python. Uh, oh, that's really nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a great thing to do. Like once you're able to translate the languages, it really gives you a better understanding of what they're doing. And if you're using JavaScript, note that you know the browsers group the things together. So if you print out like 8 underscores, it's gonna just say underscore 8. It looks bad. So if you are going to, I'll just post the link regardless. You can use something like that, and it'll uh, give it for you. All right, cool. Um, I'll just wait. So I'm gonna make a poll. So once you're ready, just go ahead and do the thumbs up on the symbol pool. It's in the Funbox discussion chat. I'll wait for everyone to mark that as ready. We got 6 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Nitya, can you hear me? I know you're having trouble before. Okay, I'm assuming you're still working on it. Um, if you need help, just type in chat, I can help you. And Adve, do you need any help? All right, cool. So we can go ahead and get started. So, what I want you to do, just open it up and try and make a list of words. It can be like 5 words long, it can be how many long you want. Just make a list of words and assign it to a variable called words. The input way, yeah, so the one I'm going to be going through right now, I'm just going to be doing the array, but at the end, I'm going to be helping y'all through and like suggesting how you can do the input. If you want to do the input and know how to right now, you can do that. But if not, I can just help you at the end. Yeah, so just make a list of words. And I'm going to be going over how you do it, so I'm just going to give you some time if you want to try it out. Cool. So you can keep on doing it if you're writing. Um, so with Java, first one is how many people are doing Java here? Can I just get like an I? Anyone using Java here? And no, Java. Oh, okay, Ave and Amara. Oh yeah, JDoodle. Yeah, that's the same one. Okay, cool. Just making sure I'm not just talking to nobody. All right, so yeah, Java, you would just want a string array of words. So for all my Java peeps, right? Um, are y'all familiar how to make an array? If you're not, just hit say no in fun box discussion. Basically, you just want to have the new keyword, put the name of the type, and then just put the 2 brackets. And you can specify curly brackets to just instantly make the array with the values. All my Java people good? If you're not, tell me, please. All right. For JavaScript, I don't think anyone is claim they're doing that, but you just put var words. It's pretty easy. And then Java or Python, it's even easier. You just put words equals uh, bracket and then a list of words. For Python, you can do that. That's called a tuple. Just note that you may want to put brackets because you may run into errors with because it's an immutable property. Cool. And I'm just going to be doing a little poll in the format discussion so everyone's on the same page each time. So if you can just hit that thumbs up if you're good, thumbs down if you're not. All right, I got 4 thumbs up. Let's see. Oh, 6. Cool. Nice. So now that we got the word list, right? So now we want to be choosing a word. So if we're asking the user for input, we already kind of went over this, right? So we would be using the random number, random value generator. Now, this differs between Java and JavaScript versus Python. Um, so for Java and JavaScript, right, you're going to be wanting to use math.for, math.random times length here. I'll actually get you this and paste in chat since it's kind of long, right? Um, and what this does is it gets a random value between 0 and 1. You want to multiply it by the length of your array, so I just put length, but you want this to be the array length, and then you want to floor it. So there's two types of rounding. There's flooring and ceiling. So floor, you can think the floor is below you, it goes below. So if you have number 1.7, it'll go to 1. And ceiling is, if you got number 1.1, it'll go to 2. Um, and note for Java, you will have to cast this as an integer. So you want to store this value as an integer type and just make it like index of word. That's the variable name. And then for Python, it's pretty easy. You just want to import the random library and use the random not choice words. So to import in Python, you just want to do import and then the module name. So I'll type that in FunBots discussion. So import random will import random. You can just do random.choice words to get the word. Just assign that to a variable called word. So give you all some time. Anyone have any questions? I'm going to be going over the code, but all right. And you're allowed to talk at any time, you know? It's open mic. All right. Cool. So going over the Java one, what you should have got is something like this. So int index of words, right? You want to cast it to an int. For my Java people, are you good? Do y'all understand casting? It's okay if you don't. Just let me know and I'll explain it. Anyone? Just need like a yes or no or a thumbs up, thumbs down. Adve, you good with casting? Amara, you good with casting? Alright, cool. So just transfers to an int, you got your map.for, and the word style length is the length we want here. And then you can just get the word by indexing. JavaScript is the same thing, but you don't have to do types. And then Python, it's very simple. You just import random, and you can get your word with random.choice words. Alright, let's see. So here's a poll. If you understood, just thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. I'd love to explain it more. Just, just let me know. Cool. Looks like everyone. All right. So next up, if we go back, um, oh, great. It messed up my speaker view. There we go. I always love Google. So if you go back, right, we got the choosing a random word. So now if we go through it, we now want to go step 2 and go into the main game loop that we were talking about earlier. So, um, what do you think we need to do to begin selecting letters? Yeah. I did this. Oh my gosh. There we go. Discord just does not like me, does it? Yeah. Well, first of all, right, you want to get a main loop that keeps on repeating, because we want to keep on repeating the question so we don't have like hundreds of lines of code that just say the same thing. Um, does anyone have a suggestion on how we would do that? For loops, or yeah, or this one we're going to be using a while loop. What does that say? What does that say? Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. You can put conditionals inside of while. Um, so after we get the loop, we just want to print the current word and information so the player knows what they're doing, right? Then we want to get the letter input, like you were saying earlier, from the player. And then we just want to determine if the input's correct. So let's go ahead and start. So see right here how we're breaking it up again. Great thing to do when programming. Um, so creating the loop, right? We already went over this. So creating the loop, we want to use a while loop. Um, but before we put in the while loop, we should define some hyperparameters or just parameters for the game that we want to set beforehand. So number one, we want an amount of lives. So how many times can the player say the wrong letter and still be in the game? Um, for me, I set this to 7. You can set this to how much you want. Um, so go and try and define this under your current code. And then you also want an array or an array list of strings if you're using Java for the guesses. And note that um, for Java you also want to include a scanner. And I'm not sure if you've used scanners before, so I am going to go over step by step how to do that in the code thing. So if you don't know, just go ahead and make the integer the array list. I'll go over that. Um, and with oh, and with Java, you're going to want to import java.util.asterisk so you get all the stuff. So I typed that in chat. That just brings in the array list and the scanner. Some time. All right, cool. So let me see what our says. Okay, so if we go in, right? So this is kind of what I want you to come up with Java. So we have the integer of lives equal to 7. We have a list type. You can also make this an array list of type string with guesses, and you just want to make this an array list. Now, we want an array list because this gives us easy access to the includes feature or function. Without that, it's going to be pretty difficult and more advanced to explain how it finds and determines if a character is in a word. So array list makes it really easy, and you just type string. Um, Adve and the other Java people, are you familiar with array list? If you're not, just say, go over it some more. All right, cool. And then scanners. If you used scanners before, this is just how you get input from the player in Java. So it's a type of scanner. We just named it scanner, and you want to pass in system.in. So think of it as getting input system.in from the people, and then your while true loop right here. Python is pretty easy. You just want to do lives equals 7, guesses is just an array, and then while true with a little colon. And JavaScript, you just use var and uh, like that. Any questions? Oh, Funbox, would this work? Let's see how to download that. Okay, where'd it go? Yeah, it's disappeared from me. I'll open it up on my other monitor. There you go. Yeah, did you make this? Have? There's a lot of print line statements. A bit of it? Oh yeah, this looks like good code. Yeah. So if you've already done that, then fortunately, as the bulk of the slides today. But if you want to try and add some cool stuff to it, or if you just want to like repeat the one that we're doing right here, you can. Yeah. All right. Cool. And let me just do the poll. Yeah, some of the like character lines, it's fine to copy code from the internet. It always is. Just make sure that you understand what's doing. Like here, if you're writing down what's on the screen, that's fine, but just make sure you understand what's doing. If you don't, just hit the down arrow. We can talk and we can make sure you understand. Because that's the most important thing. Five. Okay, cool. So next up we gotta show the words, right? And note this, all of this is inside the while loop. So do all this go inside the while loop. So before having them guess right, we need to show them what they have so far. Now, we're also going to be creating an integer called incorrect, just to count how many incorrect guess letters there are. And this can help us see if the player wins later on. Um, so we need to just loop through every letter of the word, determine if the character is in the array guesses that we created before, and if it is, then we print out the character, but if it isn't, we want to print out an underscore. So if you remember back at the example we did earlier when we're playing the game, you just do underscores, so we're going to do that same thing here. Um, Python, you can use the in keyword, which just loops over an array. And Java and JavaScript, you can use a for each loop. So this one's a bit more complicated. Does anyone want to have a go at it? Or should I just explain through the code? Okay. And don't be afraid to ask questions. I love to have them. All right. So first up, we got Java, right? So you create the integer incorrect. Then you have the for loop. And this is called a for each loop. Traditional for loops, right? You have int I equals 0, I is less than something, I plus plus. This one, you just define the value you want, and with the colon, it will go through each element in the array. So for this, we're splitting the word into each character. and it's going through each character right here. So then we can check, hey, does guesses contain the character? So have we guessed the character? If it has, we can just print out the character with a little space in between, so we got spacing. Um, if it doesn't, then we can just print out an underscore with some space to show that, hey, you need to guess these. And if there isn't, we want to increment the incorrect count by 1. My Java people, does this make sense? Okay. Next up, JavaScript. You just use a for each in the same vein. I don't think anyone mentioned they are using JavaScript, but and then you run into the issue with it being on the same or separate lines. And then Python down here set incorrect equals 0, so get the incorrect, and then for char and verb. So this creates a for each loop, um, where for every character in the word, it'll loop over. If the character's in guess, or in our guesses, then we can print the character. And note here, I am putting end equals just an empty string. Normally, end is equal to \n, which means new line, but we want this on the same line. So if you put end equals empty string, you won't have that new line problem. And then else you print that, and you just increment it incorrect by 1. Give you some time. All right. So once you're down, if you gotta type some of it down, or if you need anything, go ahead and do that. Once you're done, make the game multiplayer, I think. How so multiplayer? And the poll is in the Funbox discussion, and you can talk at me. Mm-hmm. So like have an executioner and a player. Um, yeah, so what you could do is you could maybe have an input where you get like someone else, they type in the word, and then you have to guess it. Um, are you talking about multiple guessers? Um, well, you can just have them kind of like come over and just type in. Are you talking about multiple computers? Hmm. Okay, so over the internet, it gets pretty tricky, especially with Java. You can look into Java networking. I haven't used networking with Java before. I always use like Go, Python, or JavaScript, but you'd have to get a connection from them. There's probably, hopefully, a tutorial online that could help you with that. Um, yeah, yeah, you'd have to implement an API. Hmm. So like I said before, right now we don't have like an exit clause written in. So if we hit run, it's in a while true loop and it's just gonna keep on going forever. So once we get the bulk of the code written, we'll then have like an exit where, oh, if you miss this amount, then it'll exit the game. But until we have then, I advise against running it because it's just gonna run forever. Oh, you may want to just copy your code and refresh the page, and it should be good. All right, so I only see 3 people have thumbed it up so far. Does anyone need help or? Okay, Jacob's good. Sanjan, do you need help? Okay. Oh yeah, if you're typing it out, um, yeah. And if you make a typo or it doesn't work in the end, I am gonna send out the code at the end with all of it. Like this isn't like an exercise in like, hey, can you type everything correctly? It's like, do you understand how it's doing? Hopefully you get it all correct, but if you don't, it's no big deal. All right, cool. Anyone need some more time? Just say now or forever hold your peace. Oh, cool. What you need time for? All right. Are you just typing out the Java one? Which language are you using? Python? Are you just typing this out? Are you typing it out from the slide? Do you see my screen? All right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, have you got any of the code before? If you haven't, I could just send what we've done so far. Okay. Oh, oh, I love Google Slides. It never fails me. It's impressive. It's those people at Google, really know how to make some slide software. All right, yeah, no problem. And David, if you need help, just let me know, and the full code will be shown at the end. So we show the word. Okay, next up, the variable that we had before, the incorrect. Now, how can we use that to determine if the player has won? Anyone have any thoughts? Exactly, yeah. So, if we go through all the loops, right, and incorrect still equals 0, we know the player has guessed all the words and they win. So let's go ahead and write that into the code. Um, and note that since we're using a while true loop, you just want to use the break keyword. You can think of this as like stepping on a car brake. It just takes it to a halt, and then you're done with the loop. Let's go ahead and try and write that out and think of how you would write that out. So you just want to check is incorrect equals 0? If so, print something out like you won, and then just break. And I'll give you a few minutes. How are we doing on time? Ooh, we are not doing good on time. I'll, I'll give you around some seconds. Cool. So with Java, you just if incorrect equals 0, then you just system out, you win and break. JavaScript, same kind of thing with console log. In Python, you just want print you win and then break. Do another poll. Oh yeah, that's the shake head cat. What? Well, if it breaks, it immediately exits the loop. So if you put anything under it, it's not going to run the code. You want to put this you want to put this after the for loop. So you want to get out of the for loop, but still in the while loop. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Um, is everyone good with that? No questions? Or any questions? Huh. The code we have so far? That's weird. Uh, oh, well, that's good. Yeah. So, for this one, ooh, we're strapped on time. So, getting an input right. So, this varies between languages. For Java, you want to do scanner and scanner.next. JavaScript, you just use prompt and it'll pop up, or HTML, but we're just using prompt because HTML is complicated. In Python, you just get input. So Java, you can just, print out, hey, guess a letter, and you can also do their lives. Just give them a heads up. Then you can get their answer with scanner.next, and this reads the next line that they type in. So if they type in an A, it reads it in, puts it into the variable answer, and we want to add that to our array list of guesses. No problem. Cool. For JavaScript, you just want to do prompt and push it in. And then for Python, you can put input, put in a string, and we have to convert the lives to a string to put into it. But you can just type a string, and it'll ask the player to input with the string printed out. And then you can append it to the array. Mm-hmm. This goes inside the while true and under the if incorrect statement. All right, does everyone understand this? If you don't, just let me know. All right, everyone good if I move to the next slide? All right. For the logic loop, I may have you paste it in. Interesting, because we are about to run out. I think that second game of Hangman was not in the time slot. Are you good? All right. So, oh, uh, come on, Google Slides. I put that as a fade in. Oh, okay. So checking the guess, right? We're almost done, and we need to determine if the incorrect input is correct. So, this varies for languages, and I'm gonna paste these into y'all and for you. Oh my gosh, Google Slides, my man. Yeah, give me 1 second. Uh, what did I call it? There we go. So for Java, it would be, and because I don't want to have you waste your time like writing it out. I just want to explain how it works. So Java. Or, so that's Java and then Py and then Python. And no one said they're doing JavaScript, so I won't paste that in chat. All right, so Java, we convert the word split that goes to a normal array to a list, because the list gives us the contains thing. Without it, we have to do a bunch of complicated code. Um, you can always do that if you want, but that's no good. Um, we then can, if it doesn't, because this little exclamation point says, is it not? So if it doesn't, then we want to minus the lives by 1, right? So we want to subtract the lives. And if our lives are 0, so we ran out of lives, we can just print out you lose, and then have a break statement to end the loop. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm going to ask you to try and do over the next week. Um, for drawing it here, it's a little complicated to do in this time slot. Like just explaining how the base game works has taken 50 minutes. So that's something that I encourage you to do over the next week, so I can get that in. Cool. Um, JavaScript, you split same, and the actual array in JavaScript includes the include, so you don't have to make it a list. And Python, you got see the in keyword, so it checks, hey, is the thing just typed in the word or not in the word? So is a letter not in the word? If it isn't, then we subtract the lives by 1, saying, incorrect, yes. And then same thing, if the lives are 0, we print out you lose, and then break out the while loop. Does the logic make sense for this to everyone? If it doesn't, please let me know, please. Okay, um, cool. So, yeah, if you typed it all out correctly, congrats, we made Hangman. It's good simple example of what you can do with your code. It has a bunch of more high level features. So go ahead and try and run your code. Now you probably made a typo somewhere. I do it all the time. So if it doesn't work, right? Uh, I'll not that slide. Google Slides. I'm telling you. Did it work for you, Jacob? Hey, yo, Jacob got it working. Is it not working for anyone? Did anyone make like a typo somewhere? Yeah, I'll put all the links in chat. Ooh, I hope oh, it's programming. You gotta have cats. So here's the two. The first one is Python, second one Java. Hopefully the second group doesn't just like take the code and just paste it. You can only hope for so much, you know. So yeah, so that's the code we just wrote. If you paste that in, it should work. Or try and like find the place, because that lets you know, hey, that's where I messed up, so you don't mess up next time. But yeah, like I was saying before, I don't, it doesn't matter if you make a typo or if you copy code. It just matters that you understand what the code's doing. So yeah, so I want each of you to try and see it, get it to work, and if it doesn't, just let me know. If it does, yay, tell me. Anyone? I know. Anyone else got to work? I know Jacob, it's working for him. Cool. Here, I'll do a poll. Poll, is it working for you? Just go ahead and put a thumbs up if it's working for you. It's in the phone box discussion. If it's not, put the thumbs down and make sure it gets work. So I don't want to send you off with some broken code. Exactly, and you can message people on Discord. So if you like, click on my name on the right, you can send me a message, and I'll get it. I'll respond to you, help you out. Okay? Yeah. And while you're getting work, please thumbs up if you got to work. I know Jacob, I know Ave, Udhan, Sanjan, you get right. If you don't, just let me know. I'll help you. So, what's next with this, right? So, this is kind of like a starting point off. With this code, right? I want you to try and invite your family in. See if you're out working. Just type out some random words for it to choose. Have your like family try and play. Show them what you made, cause this is cool, you know. Um, yeah. So that can be due to a lot of things. It could be due to your font being different, because different fonts give different sizes for different characters. So the space may be bigger versus the tab, because these are used with mixtures of spaces and tabs. So you can actually go to the picture and try and manually move it over a bit to when it looks right. Hmm. But when you print it out, it just looks wrong. Are you using spaces? Hmm. It's weird. um, try. Is it just like shifted over to the left or right? Try finding out how much it's shifted over, then just subtract that in your code. Yeah. So invite your families, play. Then try messing around with the parameters we said earlier. So maybe try decrease the lives so there's less. Try increasing the amount of words you have so there's more variety. Hmm. What language? What's not working? All right, yeah. And if you want to use the code I put as a guide, go for it. Oh God. Yeah. Uh, that is weird. Let's see. I'll open this with key. Ah, I see your code. Eh, yeah. If you can't hear, I'll just let me just finish this up real quick. Because we are going a bit over, so other people can leave. So yeah. So try decreasing, the lives and stuff. And some people were talking about earlier. Try using what we learned with getting the guess. And try and make the word equal to an input. So how we got the player to get a character in, try and do that, but to get a word. So some people were asking about that earlier. Um, if you're using JavaScript, no one here was. You can also, and no HTML, you can also try and implement HTML into it. Uh, Not that I would advise that. HTML can be a headache, but and try and think of some things to do. Like Adbay is over here. He's making images for us. That's really cool. And you can do all the stuff you want. All right, cool. So that's the end of the slides. Um, does anyone have any questions? 3, 2. All right. Well, if any arise, you can always type in the phone box discussion for help. You can message me for help. Um, Try and do a few of these over the next week. I know some of you may be busy. Just try them out. It's a fun thing to do. Always fun to program. And thank you all for coming. And if you got any questions afterwards, I'll be helping some people out for the next few minutes. But you're free to leave.